Madam Angela Agyei-Boateng, and other suspects on March 20th and March 21st, respectively. The second will consist of an update, very broad in character, on the investigations arising out of or in connection with the oral report that was presented to me on the 10th of February this year. So first, to the Edu-Boateng case, because it has raised very significant interest because of the nature of the arrest. You recall that he was arrested at the airport, and I started getting calls from all quarters regarding his arrest. So at about 9 p.m. on Thursday, March 20th, 2025, an operation carried out by a team of investigators from the Economic and Organized Crime Office, which is under the Ministry of Justice, led to the arrest of Mr. Kwabena Edu-Boateng. The arrest was effected at the Kokrokoo International Airport in Accra when Mr. Edu-Boateng disembarked from a British Airways flight. Mr. Edu-Boateng is the immediate past Director General of the National Signals Bureau of the National Security Council. At about midday on Friday, March 21st, 2025, the investigators went on to arrest Madam Angela Agyei-Boateng, whom I have indicated is the wife of Mr. Edu-Boateng. Madam Angela, the couple are shareholders and directors of a list of companies which the investigation establishes have been used for transactions which form the subject matter of the investigations. The arrests follow intensive investigations into the purchase of some cyber intelligence equipment by the National Signals Bureau, formerly known as the Bureau of National Communications. It must be made clear from the outset that though under the under the Operation Recover All Loot government program, this operation does not form part of the list of cases which the oral committee submitted to the Attorney General this year. The operation was led by Mr. Raymond Archer, the Deputy Executive Director in charge of operations at EOCU. Ladies and gentlemen of the media,
This FM 104.3, good to meet you.
7 minutes after 9. And now Kokrokoo, you made yes soon as you're going. Main pie bumper. Today is your birthday. Happy birthday to Mrs. Esther Tobo, Deputy Chief Health Tutor, Public Health Nurses School, Kokrokoo, and Women Secretary. Church of Pentecost, La Area. God bless you with divine health and long life from your husband, Dr. Bernard Tobo, and the children. And could you Asante as well? You're also celebrating your birthday today, Superintendent Ebenezer Tete, Eastern Regional PRO, Ghana Police Service. Minutes after 9. Now, Scancom PLC MTN Ghana invite its shareholders to the 2025 annual general meeting, which will take place both in person and virtually on Thursday, March 27, 2025 at 11 a.m. The in-person event will be held at the Accra International Conference Center. Shareholders wishing to participate virtually must use their unique access code, which has been shared with all shareholders via SMS and email. The access link to the virtual AGM is www.mtnghana, that's www.mtnghgm.com, and is free for all shareholders on the MTN network. For further inquiries, shareholders can contact info at csd.com.gh or visit MTN's AGM website at www.mtngagm.com. Additionally, they may call 0545 82 3198, 0545 82 3198, or 0545 82 2865, 0545 82 2865, or 0545 82 2990. Shareholders are reminded to bring their Ghana card, as it will be verified at the entrance for access to the event. We look forward to your participation in this year's AGM. And on the pay, Yebedin, come on. Sir? George Dako. Keshin Yampa. So this morning, Yenin Pennyfortuna saying here Babi Din Komo Atik Mohammed. Yao Asane Tano. Clement Opoku Jemfi. Later on.
This FM 104.3. Good to meet target.
And he also celebrating a birthday today, Brian Ni Afla Saki. May Yahweh continue to shower you with his blessings from your parent Joseph Saki. And Ramatu Na Achwe. Happy birthday. Time for us to get talking.
Welcome to the dawn. You have just accessed the beautiful experience.
This FM 104.3. Good to meet target.
Okay, all right. So, Sabre non kuno aba pansima edun kuno Kokrokoo dwumedie so na ukui na braso se yenim penforms be din komo be choma adwen sem ahodo aba betodwa anope ensem ewo honum pa Atik Mohammed Ewofi Hanum saying Atik akwaba
me hu ache
sa
me hu na ache pa
na boko de
nyame de ache ko be better but you so
yaw asaneta no yaw
Ogazi
empomo e
ya me sure me we una waira kwa asem na maira kwa
ye nyina ya oh yeah
very interesting
yeah na
hoya pa
that's akwaba so akwaba Clement Opoku Jemfi Kwame Poku Kwame akwaba
bayo ye nua minim say na de utem na say ye ba be ka birthday na sem ne atise ba ne ntaria ne show mu ni che ne gugu
na ko bia na
na my invitation
when invitation
biya bia on say yes aboa bi unya fufu obedi so woduro na ankone
kuzie ze woduro ankone ne bom mu
ejizanka na invitation ye twa me bia na ka be hu me hwe no mu fa na yiri mu akodi asa
I see
obetua tax ma wanka sa wa fi
na me ya from so me di party so no me so tax de me fa ho be
pinfon e come as me say asem ohui empini pa
oh
but interesting I mean there's a Kwame dia but we dey proper kwem ma me nyum adwenje kakra I mean Atik ni we penfo me issue ni say why is it that because senior Ebeto Jano was like okay GRA4 but well Intiasian is okay is it Bank of Ghana almost
because microfinance
exactly
is under the supervision of
the issue is why is it that say abia obi o omaim hanum saying BBC won't say anything. So yeah, party no.
Yeah.
Then it comes out okay. Yeah, any tax assessment.
Yeah.
Inti yeah, should see kasemuni ade. It raises the question say, inti kwanya party ni dia. Nkeye nye BBC na and I know mo yeah. Why are they now telling us?
Media Nedi Kama Mincha Republic of Gambaga for na
Mincha. I confirm myself by.
Oh, no, the buy now. So you never come.
Now we are on Gofa by. Now
so you never come. Because as some Mukra already na idea like in private sectors na come once. To the buy idea second. And I think it's a lesson to every young person who is doing business or who purpose to be doing business. Zika we dey be say MPD. We are going who did the penal watchro. Sanity. And look, we say, state authorities or juma. But the very minute there's that sense of another display of ostentation now, the interest gets heightened. Because near T and say look say hundreds of thousands of dollars just to make appearances. Not just you must be extra rich. And if I'm the tax authority, I should be interested in knowing how much you earn, so that near so yenso yebeji idea. Because I'm sure Judiciary looked through their income tax records of Papai. And even corporate income taxes the companies he alleges to be involved in omutia. And omusha say ebi receipts eswa. And if obia ne income tax eswa ana ebi krampo, there's no record of income tax payment. Ana ebi wo ba de eswa. Ana corporate income tax, this annual nyina omusha ebi receipts no so. Omudi to the amounts of money omuti any the latest acquisitions are almost they should be interested in finding out is it that we are under collecting and he's under paying what is here. Until I think got the revenue authorities to be interested in the case, and I think it's in order. So the if they were under collecting, they can reconcile their records and the differences no with here. If he or no underpaid na afioma, and the good news is that we have an amnesty regime in tax collection. You bet me chance okay. Yem phone court in the meantime, but ese utiano, ese lanka ese utiano. Na we ntia dia dube court. But it also raises other questions. Enye Jerry phone kwao. Sika bebrebe say issues of money laundering would certainly agencies are only interested in money laundering would also be interested.
Yeah.
So FIC, and I'm not surprised, say Minya paying Kojuchu Mwafu, Michan and Anu paying. And his outfit got interested in the case, and they have even gone ahead to freeze the accounts. Because on the Forex, yet Kikasikan Yankan was see this move.
Yeah.
Forex, so you must be receiving Forex to be able to pay people in Forex. Sikan Efrihin Abaye and so on. So these are things we see Nipati baby na asem pena. No penasem. And we krana look the agency I'm sure he would have a very long year because there'll be a lot more other agencies who be coming his way to find out, and businesses are Bank of Ghana, one of it is a microfinance. Nangrofo Murani savings and loans omunto jet now microfinance. Certainly, the central bank will be interested, and we have had a history where people manage deposits of
a number of companies.
And I mean, case said, "No more savings and loans cry. Omunto jets here." Despite or more insurance company, or more savings and loans, and many other companies on to jet you.
I mean, we see a number of companies also on Tiasia. Your investment or shares
No, because Onwang has an explanation of his ownership of companies. Now is a suspect. On the one hand, he owns companies. On the other hand, he has shares. On the other hand, I'm just representing Obint. I didn't me see way who got tam assembly one of says here you would have to explain to all kinds of people on a daily. Everyone was assume you crying friend here. OSP. Everyone wants to cry your friend. Ben job or have a press conference.
Okay, I think.
What is it? But finally, Central Bank, we have had a history where people mismanage depositors' money. Enti omunya TBB sana. And especially if you claim to be involved in the microfinance. Omuntinasi maungo yenye nano ebimu ye ya Ecofa financial sector cleanup and the cost that came with it, no. Until they need to be proactive. Ebi already, omusho books mu. I'm sure the supervision department and our inspectorate division of the central bank no muyo mujuma. But when would be like, there is something we haven't really checked. Until media me manidue na nipa dia sometimes I say nipa look Namwan say I not start you. And he has not learned from Namwan. My final words would be that we are mebunu. Oh, you don't pay sika, whether through whatever means. Yes, he can pay the. There is some wisdom in that saying. Says he can pay the. Niomu sika na nkasa no kra. You know, omunim says he can pay the. Now, who is surviving by other means? What must say? Nti mebunu unya usika kakra. Don't do things that would land you into needless trouble.
Medasi. Kwame, isa also na kofa semi bae.
Atikaka. Aka de ono betumi aka na me de me rapene up.
Okay.
Wo de wo industry nim de wonim. Ebre bi na Germans bi omoto enyom na Germans ano moto amrofo nyom omoto English there. Every time you know magidi pa. Sena nyom na eto. Obi na eto na ndo ma no. Nim say obe kai di na omo mutie.
Mini valini.
Okay. Nti omo do ma no fefem. Omo gidi pa o wiase ha na obi anim so omo na eto. Eye interview ba ko pe. And bring you omo down. Nti interview can make and make you. They make me account as we now on that.
Yeah, kakaka.
Because you go na samba o kra. Just we move back again.
Men can review.
Because it's very interesting, but utu for no utu momon and so forth. It is very important to say a bit too friend say GRA for with that lackadaisical attitude of not trying to ensure say recovery of funds and I should say
they collect what is declared. If they don't know, if some earnings are not declared, how do they?
But how did you come out to say the person owes about 30 million Ghana cedis?
Maybe because of who say because now he says he's involved in many other companies. Ebine what declare with the GRA no companies as is here all can has me. Ebine bin can.
It means GRS is incompetent, and they have been incompetent for a very long time. In the sense, revenue collection is sankomo ejejima omano. They sometimes sit down until an issue comes up. Now, before I think Ben mentioned your friend and say, "Now, I note you ha." You see, as I say, so in the sense, now one nensema kofa buy some of it. In fact, Uncle Bane say, now you who says say private jet or whatever it is, ukusita magaswa yedikiti ne beshiano. No man now ye ni na but dead is always catch you be a wagana. That is one of it. If so, call America, especially America. Also, blacks no munyasika. Their opulence and extravagant lifestyle no you motoma and some etuomo. And at the end of the day, many of them na ya jail or one way or the other. Each is for taxes. We share the opulence and extravagant lifestyle. A friend is saying perceived NSS boss lady no party keka utro the decorations of the party no Prince Charles and as a King Charles kra e bia won dwen ho say wo ye ne birthday obey sa deco no, and it is synonymous with the NPP guys. I'm being very frank and nyabotrella because where the any politics me you been nyabotrella
na I biology now ya na I biology na chemistry who can some abo NPP who say politics but me the mere fact that you mentioned NPP
and then I
don't do that.
Hey, you don't do that.
But you said it is synonymous with the youth of MPP. I think it's quite an unfair generalization.
I use the word some. Some
even MPP no crying wrong. Because then you tell her it to be a partisan conversation.
You see, I'm only giving example. Me man number say on your MPP.
Yeah. So just as Kwame King, the MPP baby she move baby chine for baby partisan and common.
No.
I think
it's just to be fair to who's analysis no. My evidence I go to so they can say MPP phenomenon.
Me pese me boni panidin.
Birthdays
bi mu aye hu nansen. And I say okay, make it just one reference. A reference to their former chairman Freddie Blay. Oba power no who say birthday is celebrating what who ha. We have a few young guys within the MPP so birthday party. What Brentina ya more power.
Oh no,
but I'm saying certain opulence and extravagant lifestyle will give you out. As simple as that. I think we
could give better examples. General support to European
I just don't want to mention the people's name.
Obia or the open. Watch.
I know.
Yes, do that. But when you let
it's the same thing. Do that on John.
Watch your boy. But obi betumi place value on it. I can say, hey, unless or more money watch him. Now, Mister,
I think we're 170.
By saying, say, GRA should be up and doing. Don't wait for anything to happen. It means that there are such people on the ground that you bet me I gather revenue. But apart from that, we must also understand the same. Say yes, answer not ye can't. You to know ashe in terms of or more person munyesika and as more they are in the stream of making money no what come kasabuashe and as you suppress them in the near future we
to pay the requisite taxes
no not that you chase them when they have done something. There are many examples that we can cite, but you cannot just mention Crawfording or her just like that. We are suppressing.
A genuine businessman, you should have nothing to fear.
Of course, yes, I know that. But that's what I'm saying. Say into easy.
To say like if you are a genuine young businessman, now you'll be intimidated and are scared to do your business. I don't think that's
the fact that even a genuine young businessman when you're in Sika, on fan control when you're trying to haircut, no crop you're scared.
Medas yensi na mpacho mi enko enim ne hwe main issues because now we near the proper Queen market near the proper Queen market. So the Attorney General press conference and thriller in Manila. That's what onwa say Atoso and involving former MPP appointees and particularly on the former boss National Signal Bureau Ora Edubuahini any $7 million cyber defense fraud I won't say assembly bree no no na lawyer for and so the crack idea ba akasa kwanya Attorney General na me fan say yoku ede rap Edubuahini ede no fast so minority for and so accuse abain prosecuting opponent outside the courtroom ni ensem no bebree yembe hyasie emfiri ho no musei kwame
Bragosi ma ansana me koso no ma me enka adum fire ibi
okay
enti ameka blue light fire no asem ne se ye mabuna nyini wo Kumase de eye ba bi a obi akoho ho na ba koto mpaboa de akobo life bronya ba obeto okunte kwa obeto enti ho na akoye ye dwane kobia open mpaboa ava eduruma bi kra no uniska kra utumi kona o mama obi ahye na uya asa de akonoma san horo no ma oh yes a business in China there nti ye be ma wo mo say what you call you sure about na sa dia ko no ma horo no me to o kwa no akwakoto boys no ho mu ye business pa bragosi ya say babunu bi enya sika na odi ye business na enya se bia odi akogba kohwibra mpo na ahye ne mo be sora no pa na ija to ba bi o ye business
and also na ya politicizing
oh enemy nyanhui and say politicizing because o mo e wo ho no nipa ni sika ana no ahye o politics ade kwero no hu ye kwa obefa so a obeba back to ni mainstream asabe na adwuma no ero na ehia no nti ye be mo yakọ na yasre se mpanyufo mo na nyintintia na kwan abefa so a ebetimi ama mabunu no ne o me wo hodi omdwuma no atimi ato so Black Stars so awini amaye ye da o ma sese die koyie obi di ball no we die koyie da o ma sene nkoye na ne ka ho asem no se koye nso a wo se yesan so kana yebo ma ba so titru pa ne coach no coach Utuado enka ne no ntumi hye se wo hye de a o se yebo na ba so na World Cup ne de Ghana mabunu no yese ye ko US ni bi nti omo hye maye na vanko bawo si wa unia panyi sometime Otua champon ka Black Stars sem de na woda nti we de me for fidi kase so na ma we hye be ma boada happy birthday bawo si me ko wonsem no so on say ya wasani tano o started say o kan nsem na yenye ne ko benkruma na yenyina ye de ye soso na ye kama onto so be bo MPP ewom na ma mi wura mu atiki wura mu na so wura mu na ono ahu say da bi ode ko no ya take political twist make ka yetia aduma semu pizza tasemu so be ka say ene no so de ye politics the wa kan ni de kan nyina che say asem si o man nim ne de ye politics it loses its relevance na focus no ayra bonso bia adwene afri nsempana bi kura wo ka no eso fa ne say sofo panyi bia me am sofo Apostle Francis Amoakwata ogina TV so na obe preachi na Apostle Amoakwata akwhye party bi atade se mfa se MPP atade de hyena na NDC atade afi obon se na asem na o kan kura no untie bio cause wa junya also sofo we de o party we anaso o party we de me kan nyina ne se Attorney General uhwe article 88 eno na ma utumi se wo ana wo ye the principal legal advisor to the president, to the government. In fact, oba yen legal profession no mun so a Attorney General bia ebe ni bia on ebe the leader of the bar. Ordinarily no sanke kokota ye ni seniority. Enti bia nka senior pa bi wo ho a oba ya no be free ni case. Na wa ye ni case e wi no okọ. Nka ya nkra na di de chere de obetuma kotena court 8:30. One way I ever throw case no say seniors depending on seniors do ebeba no obetuma free one be 3 and 4. And so the only person yem first seniority enya adwuma wo ho say Attorney General court. Owura court ono ne ma no audience first because he is the leader of the bar. Lawyers nyina ebeka se papa eno no eno kire obuo surunku bi a ye de ma sa ministry no any sa nipa no to you can be 2 years at the bar, you can be half month at the bar, no problem. So far as you are appointed Attorney General, you become leader of the bar. And to be o can be no ye nyina ya ye di wachi na yetie na eno so so nche se o ka bibi na ye no nya adwene aye ntumi mekire ya adwene. Dr. Ayeni, the learned Attorney General, a fine gentleman, unimumra. His years at the bar and practice, no, actually say, what distinguishing no. Bigidi say a boni din, man for be cry ni je say a boni din. Say wa ma bontina meye press conference we. Ma me bubo din, mana me teki a certain political twister. Minyini senka obia wo problem so obeka ho asem se bia be chema adwuna ko binku na me chema adwuna ko nifa deɛ meka ni yɛbɔ ne din foforɔ no ɔka asɛm bi sɛ ɔni evidence ana ɔnyɛ ne investigations wie a ɔmfa asɛm nkɔ court ɛfiri sɛ so wɔde asɛm kɔ court na afei na wokɔ akɔpɛ evidence a in criminal trial ɛma wasɛm no yɛbɛbɔ agu koraa na baabi akɔyɛ sɛ ebia unnim deɛ wɔyɛ ana judges no koraa na ɛmo nso so atake a certain stance in criminal trials brakwesi you will have to prove the accused beyond reasonable doubt also we kyerɛ court no ɛnyɛ media na ɛnyɛ ɔman no wo kyerɛ court no sɛ judge na tisuo sɛ judges na tisuo wo bɛ kyerɛ sɛ Kwesi Aboagye a wo se wayɛ ABC no bibia kyerɛ sɛ ɛyɛ no korɛ ɔno na ayɛ sɛ doubt ketewa bi kura ba mu a court no be gya na manakɔ if sɛ court no e convict na ɔgye no liberties ni freedoms ni rights bi afiri ne nsa nti court biara ni hɔ ɔbɛpɛ sɛ ɔbɛgye obi fundamental human rights ni liberties bi a anka mmara no de ama no afiri ne nsa wa abra onye too sure edie ne si wo seche jama se tumpan na ne yaburu mu pampampan yekoda ye sore ya attorney general say obeye press briefing ye nyina ya fa ye pen ne paper akwetena ho ye kwa akotie bi ana akwa kasa kama okasa ya bakwasi nsem na okaye no edrumre bi na edrum na yesa edrum pempenso bi na ya ye se ono aye judge ana de asem na beto nanim na obua nipa ne kumfo se obi afa oman ni sika kwambone so se obi awia oman ni sika obi adi oman mu ni nyina awu a ewo se ye nyina ya ta attorney general na chi na oman no ene nipa no etwe na oman no gi ni sika na se asotwe bi wo ho a ye de ama nipa no sanso na se nipa no enso so wo ka sansem no to no so no oni anu a obeyi onyi anu aye one sided story ne nyina ya tie enti ene ko social media obi e ka bi gu papa no so what this kind we say we ente papa na num asem ebe wa ko wi ase ye bua no kumfo wo bejoma wie ukodu court na papa no ko ka nsem na sansem a wo ka nyina ono so timi prove say ebi kura nsem aka fa me hu nyina nya no kura
so bi oti DNA bi attorney general kan ya odi gina so aka so ki asem ya kan Adams we bua no
oka brofo opotoi o say the evidence awagada nyina no bibia ni wa ekye say so or the nipa no kokota on seeking conviction against papa no adubu ahen no
okay
ehon me yemo hye me na say I say what pass judgment awie enti journalist ba ko bisa no question bi na em say na afi na ni ba no ho so no ka say enye se bia ma bua no kumfo awie o nembo mo hwe nyama na ekura no na ansem so no ka awie
into that right of innocent until proven guilty or you now who says
yes
okay
every person enunti na sebi yesi obi kura kum nipa ye de ne kokota yesi bisan se udi bema na udi fo na nu wie mpo no ye di wasem ye nka se ho na bia wagya tum kura se ni ese ye de ukotum because I was here to your boss ehwehwem na ye di wasem ne hwe circumstances na lead to the o ye no ebi kura na wo na wadwen yo so wakum obi o but ye hwe circumstances na lead to na nkwankoye murder na kwakoye manslaughter ko bia na nye boapa yo no kwese wakum nipa ne de but adwene na ta achi ne nye se na opese ukum enipa no because minim so te de me chena se a
of course yeah
enti ye di tumi no maya eno nche se ewo se yesu ye di tumi no etia obi bebre because that tumi na mra na ama wu tumi na mra no so ama obi so ebe obi so ho ban me papa adubu ahi minim no min sha no krada se nye se nsem we kwa be ba na min read anything about him but immediately the learned attorney general be babonten na obekansem na ebeye te se e take political twist na asem na say se papa na di Ghana wusa me kwa me na me nyini se press conference bi akura be hia who evidence attorney general just go to court ko attorney general there office we ministry wa dia mawa baby ya second office pa
asema mi nunka
aye courtroom ho na also kokodi wa asem ti se obeye press briefing na ekoba say ase ye indict nkofo which obia ni asem but se ekoba say e take a political twist afo bo say political party na also so kan sem ni gu no so no also be na je so also ba be ya no afi na ba be yen sem bebre na the relevance of the matter na sem ni de hia pa no bo say ayira afi bo say e kan ho sem a yen kan sem papa na obeka no na ebeye party A, party B, party C, party A sana and some papa na o de buy no ayira because you decided to do politics instead of what you na e de amount.
Okay.
Se senya bempe ebe se nti ebe se e maye mfa politics enwurawura ne mana ye yenum. So obi adi oman na wu, obi abo oman no kro no a papa no so ono so kwa asori wa na.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Me share crime so Assemblies of God. Adentina na yen ka say Assemblies of God ni bi aye say anase bi okọ club bi se bi a Lions club anase bi a akosi abwaje club adan na yen fa no entag no uye no fincha on monton so ya so nani na ebretu ani yen fa bretu ana so nani mo nai. Why do we want it to take a political twist to what, to score cheap political points or what?
Okay,
Because we are happy. Then the political party will also not sit down. As also said in Tamaklo, and a young family and our buyer now, are filing nolly prosecute, why withdrawals of cases for the I feel bones as some papa now the bayan, you twinka.
but as a why 10 minutes.
Let's opinion in Casa say. So Oba Bontina Wabeka. Now immediately any pandy will say, as I don't know, one year nationalistic, name I quite to say, oh, try to be Piagu. A certain political party so honest want na ho opinion na kan asem no o wabusia okokuo okwa asori. Why do you want to tag him with a political party?
Come here,
so abokro no go to court. Don't tag him.
Mesamba I think come here 10 minutes not man 10 minutes me so the be 2 minutes be crowd dey aka ho.
Okay,
so mama o say my next 10 minutes now into you.
me that's it. Nedi kan fire outbreak na isi ko Kumasi no me ma victims na traders na momu nyina yakọ na ye bompa ise ni omo hwiru no Yankopom edi ni omo hwiru no mohu esa be ma omo because enye easy dwedi die ya dwedi in the form na nipa be bre no ho enya ne dwetri a odi didwa kakra na not through any fault of Onyakuno na nyuma nyina ne dwetri a shi na ne nyuma nyina so ashi yeah, sometimes it can be devastating for victims, no.
And I can make say they are politicizing Miami Baku and then money be almost.
Oh yes, me team. Me bufu ya papa.
I say Mahama I ban or Jano.
Me bufu ya papa. Me when I saw the video, I was like, "Mami,
really?
Oh yes,
oh yeah.
Me I saw it." And there was a younger lady who actually even spoke much more sense than Mami Pinino.
Yeah.
Look, you maybe say you way either Mahama or she Jano now.
But Ube come because I don't turn your mouth jomu.
No, I mean, well, she looked like Obi or Swan. It's very possible. It's very possible. The way I know Zikas, I mean, BBC as ACR. Instead of us to say, look, what can we do to help the victims? I mean, these are very unfortunate statements to make. And you see, the real victims, Lankasano, all they kept saying is, Omu Srea Bain say Abraham Embebuaum. And that is the way to go. But they were not accusing anybody say Nipan Nabe. And sir, like I said, Mami no so be also one woman, not be a world store. Nti BBC say no about the same Komanama, the real traders and owners of stores for Honum. Having said so, my member Ora Dr. Baumia Swabaso, why are dear? Say Okohendra Ekoyadwa, he donated some money and now Oma 1,000 and not 2,000 bags of cement. I think is very commendable. Now, Miss Reza, corporate Ghana, so sorry, no more. This is the timer, the Ghanaianness in us, no, and the Ghanaian in us, no, as a DD. Ghanaians, dear, Yami, Eddie Nyobi Shrine. And one of the things that Yen Shada, Emma Ninko, any fellow feeling. Ghana for, look, we feel for one another. Obiko how more, it becomes a problem for the rest of us. Into corporate Ghana, Miss Red. Say, I mean, this is a time for some of you to activate your corporate social responsibility initiatives. No, say microloans, especially those in the banking sector. No, say specialized microloans. Bikrana, mubeshe dia more munshe na munye. Say even construction. Say mubwa munshe na mubwa, and you should be routing it through either the Traders Association and the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, no, or even through the Regional Coordinating Council, because at the end of the reconstruction, no, Mijidi say or more bedimo akotini. Let's all contribute our bits to see how we can do the reconstruction. Nti mi board Dr. Baumia Basu. It was actually a very admirable gesture that he displayed yesterday, and I expect a lot more other politicians to follow suit and incorporate Ghana. But having said so, no, Ghana for so look, these recurrences and as our fire outbreaks, they become perennial events. Nina bebrina ejina yesuban so. Unim say fire hydrants. Among for BCC stores ni omudi kiosks ni containers abesisi so.
Se ba ko bia me hu so mu tu
video bia. Yes, nipa na wa besi container e de esisu. And idea yes 50 years ago. Yes in show wom.
Yeah.
Look, it is a criminal offense elsewhere. Uko US now uko park you where a fire hydrant is. You'll be given a ticket.
Overdue ticket sharp.
What is here? But Chroma, not only are we parking, in fact, yeah, kataso.
Yeah.
And nobody seems to see anything wrong with it. Would there and then my fire service for the police for Enkase Yechichi Sankrophone? Obeti politicians see. Obedi Omubejim. No man send come on, no abe tan. Look, I've always made the point, say, it is not in everything that you compete. Politics is a game of both competition and cooperation. But Ghana, the conveniently cooperation in the environment, where we need to cooperate to do the right thing. Oh, one entity airborne homodin say me yeni yenu na obiti echire. And knowing the Ghanaian, the politicians have read the minds of Ghanaians to know say or ye boni kura na obefo no so you are the next person obeto abanama. Nti ni opeso yeni yenu ono yinu hu se oyeni yenu. Wow, Ubeka said, Nipana oya bonino, ufuanusuno. The next election, Nipano would reward your sebi lack of patriotism with Nipan votes until it becomes a vicious cycle. Say, once I'm in opposition, I need the votes of the voters, no, or yen krana, instead of us to collectively condemn their actions. Because if for once, Omuze, Nyomutia Bemunin, your more opposition are speaking in one voice, condemning wrong acts in one voice, immediately say the Ghanaian attitude would change. But omunim say ye bibi krana ye be ye one political party somewhere would say look, you are being inhumane, you are being you are not being charitable, you are being insensitive. The buzzword that politicians are using is you are being insensitive. And knowing that the voter has come to realize that this is how politicians behave. Until there will be one entity or and so. Until we need to change our attitudes. And politicians, for once, look, fire issues here, every government be a bambi or baby be a hano. And this is a strange thing. These outbreaks happen shortly after a change in government. And for the most part, they happen shortly after change of government. And to question, I say, is it coincidental and it is by design? And because we have not, as a people, collectively spoken against the attitudes of Ghana for. Omunim say bibi sai sikura na amanyofo ekura de omo bejimbi. Enti even you can say pathways to the fire scene no and the accident scene no. Now fire tenders no could even access. Well, look, anytime there's a fire outbreak, so many shortfalls in our fire management regime no get exposed, but very little is done to deal with such shortfalls no. Pathways to accident scenes no and where the fire outbreak happens no a problem and enyen nenko enyen nesi okwasi nkwa katamanto di issue it was the same problem. Secondly, fire hydrants are epiti wogana bebia no we don't have them. And the few that we have, no, so now the containers, yes, you can't even find or access them.
I think I agree, sir. A very essential, very important topic. But what's my almost by 5 minutes? Okay,
no, me they hear me. Well, anyway, and finally, I expect, sir, we should be learning some lessons from these things. Now, it's not pretty. Say every year, and I teach you, after the change of every government, we experience these things. The security agencies, the firefighters, we need to up our game a bit. And let's have fire hydrants all over the place and criminalize obey BB to affect and spoil fire hydrants. Having said so, as for aging in some semi, I was of the view that he should have taken his time to get the full, complement of his evidence. So that I'm not against updating us Ghanaians about near or year. It actually gives us hope. Say, look, I for one, I have no reason to say near oral, not before oral, so, and it would be senseless and meaningless for the work to be done and nothing being done about the outcome.
Yeah.
Oh, until I expect say bibi afa ho. Look, obi biara we are buying or man sika. You should not go home smiling. No. Yeah. You should be having nightmares at home. What is here? Oda usoya na na ayoze. One man the following day met me akojil. Ese huna usa, but ese yetu yebuye ni ye. Because the process is as important as the outcome. Process, if we get it flawed, kakra, it might even influence and affect the outcome. Then it was good to update us, but I was expecting that certain pronouncements would be eschewed. It was almost as if the Attorney General sounded very definitive in the fact that the suspects are now more or less convicted and are guilty of the offenses they've been. In fact, some of them are even yet to be charged. In fact, there's nobody, to the best of my knowledge, who has been charged yet.
Yeah.
What is here?
Yeah.
But at some point, he sounded as though they were convicted and they were guilty and so on. I find the revelations are very interesting for me. Very, very interesting. And also...
Do you think there is the magnitude involved in he was overwhelmed as a bonus on?
Sometimes you can get overly excited about what was there. Evidence gathering is a very tedious job, very laborious. And if you are able to make a breakthrough, sometimes you can become a little overexcited. Now because every man has the right to be heard. Even murderers are given their days in court, much less Obia, who has been accused of. But corruption is equally a killer. But you can't equate corruption to murder. And everybody by law is entitled, and even by common sense is entitled to the right to be heard. And until you do that in a competent court that has jurisdiction to look into the matter, in my view, it can be hurtful to the case and to the delivery of justice to be making certain pronouncements. Attorney General, okay. Now, Papa, like until nearby, until the first time I had the Dubai, and I charged the Dubai until they said it was the NSB. And until we had another Dubai in our home. I am not privy to the details. In fact, like until he's charged, it's even difficult to speak to this issue because what is he being accused of? Merely saying, sir, there are traces of payments and receipts and so on. The Attorney General, I would have been more excited if Otunbu had the full complement of the evidence into Oka. Obetimi catch and say, this is what we have found, and we have charged on the basis of the
on charging about here in the press conference or said Sika almost about, let's say, is it 39 point
no
something?
Following the trail of money payments necessarily is not an offense. What is here? Obi when Sika no if Sika no nyan will compare, I mean, there is no problem. But if you were able to tell us, these were illicit payments, these were monies that, according to your investigations and findings, no, but at least you would have given us something to chew on. What does he say? Because the person would still have to go and defend himself in court. The fact that why can't necessarily sign a in court, but at least you are, because he's representing us. The Attorney General is a lawyer. And he would have told us, court based on near said nipe yaya and a tiamra and a tiagana mine. What has here? But to just merely tell us that there are receipts, which for me, knowing the caliber of lawyer he is, Majidi say he feels is strong enough evidence, said to the extent that receipts. That's some hardcore type of evidence. But what does that really tell us? Wanka. And my suspicion is that because and they haven't proffered any charges, no, he's unable to tell us when na GD say evidence or and he committed this offense or that offense. But Matisse people are visiting BNI and NIB. In fact, Niomuko Holo Kikrane also. People are turning up. They are turning up upon the NIB. Baby.
You go there all the time. You see people there.
Not just a Nioma Koso. Yes, they've been invited.
Okay,
they've been invited.
I see.
Obia who has a case according to what they have to answer. No, they will invite you to come. Is there what we hear and read about in the newspapers and in the news,
I see.
A man for Kohokulem go and say, yes, you beat me 3 days in a row, or beat me from an apart to an ajo. The NIB has been busy.
I see.
They've been very, very, very busy. Until I am praying and hoping, say, Ombetu Omobu, I diligent work. Because look, we have all the corruption. I'm going to say we don't fight our own. We leave the job for the next administration to come and fight. What is here? You hardly find people members of a particular government prosecuting, one of their own. It's very rare. You would have some isolated incidents like Abuga Pelemun DA, but you hardly find the Attorney General of one government prosecuting on one Crawford. Because these are people who sit together in cabinet, they go for retreats. They are more like friends and family. And usually the job is left for the next administration to deal with. And I am expecting, some proper work will be done.
I suggest so for Juma because who can be said diligent work.
Yes.
I suggest Juma no wasn't diligent enough.
No, the Attorney General is under pressure, and he has admitted to same.
Of course, that one
is under pressure. And once you're under pressure, you do shoddy job. Even though Wasaka and Okaka who say until he's convinced, say the weight of evidence is enough to secure conviction. He's not proceeding to court. But if you counterbalance that with the pressure that is on you, it is likely that at some point you'll be forced to go to court without even fully doing that which you need to do and sign a court.
Okay.
Until because they need to take their time. The updates are good, but do not be in a haste to go to court only to be ridiculed.
Thrown out.
Having said so, the lawyer for the accused, Zoe
Achanko.
Yes, and Mr. Atacha. He's also been talking. Oh, Kasapa. Yes, I'm just a step shy of saying he's been singing. And the lyrics are very deep in some circumstances. The songs contain some deep lyrics in some instances. You know, sometimes it's good to show that you are who you think you are, but grandstanding can also be problematic. You know, so you're a genius or code, don't share no code. Look, I mean, sometimes he's the head of the bar. You could even be a genius at the bar, but he's still your boss.
Leader. He's the leader of the bar.
Yes. So whether you like it or not, you could even be 10 years ahead of him at the bar. He's still your boss. What is here? But this grandstanding self, your pound share, oh, I think, sir, when you raise the germane issues you need to raise, like for example, sounding as though Nipani are guilty, I think on that score, but proceeding to, you know, I think it was needless and you could have cut that out.
Okay,
you see, but this is an interesting thing. Technically, they've been granted bail, but they are not home because the bail conditions are too stringent.
Sir, or say, Attorney General said, I am say, Utia, near any dear. Any
other likely they might vary the bail terms, no.
But a do one conditions, or see any briefing now when you're another Miss Yadia will join one.
Or see a Timijan section.
Yes.
What has here? So technically, they are not offending the 48-hour rule, but these guys too are not free. Until that just Edu Boyne has quite a journey.
Yeah, but so here, so okay, technically.
Yeah.
But it's a bill you move court bit my grant you.
Yeah.
And now police for
if you meet their conditions.
Police inquiry bill.
Yeah.
And you know omono I say omo manos have police inquiry bill. And then omo day
terms about conditions,
because bail, regardless, every offense
is bailable.
No?
Yeah,
it's
there are still conditions I so satisfy.
It lies in the bosom of the judge.
Yeah.
And to police for them, and it lies in their bosom. On person of the Bemawa, I say what Tom about, but not a sukra ni podia. And he was so
as a concuma for Chedian. All the man no such an idea.
What the other amount, all right, but conditions never want to me meet. Now, Baba say,
you are free, but you see,
so the only option available.
Okay,
now,
I think wrap up, mommy.
Yeah, it sounds like the views of Thomas Hobbes that men are free, but everywhere in chains. And we've been at no. Just we are free, but we are still in chains.
Yeah.
And to say at least he would have his day in court. I mean, once the charges are finally proffered against him, the Attorney General should be sure say he would appear in court. Until sebe ya, media this ready. Na me do 2 AG in him. Sebe ya, I mean they should vary the terms in such a way say they are reasonable enough for the suspects to meet.
Okay.
Otherwise, I think I've had indications that the lawyer wants to proceed to court to get a judge to get them to give him bail and so forth.
All right.
Media, it's going to be a long year. Or it's going to be quite some for us to have these issues. Into preliminary issues, the MS or money bill. You see, NSS for you them. Almost brutal. It's good. Look, Obi should write a book about these these events. They are really very interesting.
But as I think, yeah.
And I'm happy. Let me commend MPP for generally. When they have to speak against the excesses, they do like the minority leader did yesterday, and the lawyer of and some other people in the MPP have spoken, like the attempt to make it look as if Nipani is guilty already. So those excesses no matter once. Yeah, waka. Yeah. Oh, say ja. Omunim say waka dada. Nti ni omuni so ni omuni ha ndi na mibo. But unim say the generality and the majority of MPP for Nkanga food soldiers. They are not unduly participating in this process. Kona koka wasem. Once a canino anka ye. No mudi omu ejimubi. This is a lesson. So wa be moi. Yo nyoma ye. And I'm happy we are growing. Say look, if it's about accountability, we are not going to say we are going to stand in the way of accountability.
Yeah.
So we did say who son dia kona koka wasem. And they are not unduly attacking the process. even though some of them would speak to the excesses and the things they feel are not ultra vires, but a bit off kakrano. But generally, they are not saying, say, these people are innocent. Why are you harassing them? They are saying, say, Momumbe come as them without some of the excesses are yadiomu efemuno.
But I see, yeah,
Rapping.
yeah, in Chionso.
But as Mekobi Mankambi, Kumasi fire. I'm sick and tired of political gestures, political philanthropic gestures. A market of this nature, Ashi. Now I say Ubia could donate cement, $100, 1,000 bucks or whatever. And
whatever.
And Rechi Cantamanto Eshe, and also both NDC and PP, they went out of their way to donate monies.
I
disagree with them. This is the reason we are where we are. But my man Falcon is Namenchia Sampai, one of my good friends. I've never met him.
Media, you've never met him?
No.
Are you serious?
I've never met him. Ask him.
Was you on Shia Sampai?
But I like him.
No, Media is a brother. He's not a friend.
I've never met him.
The one of the few MPP people who will forever be friends.
Men Kenchen is Onda Santimasi. Emma Ghana for you, Kwan Mufaso to Abano. Omo who sent Puntu here. A chain, a friend saying, see a trap party be from a particular palace. Ut me war ba, Obano to me baboasum, and Obani to me kum. Abano mabi, to me be share a wofobi, none a wofo enshano. Enti da Santimasi, and regional minister and so. Unjan and also painting some yendi senior. Anka advice am the man of Fidie sono. Anka a bachelor baby. But I'm asking him to be firm. Na my name green say usa. You see, they are doing this because Omufi said na teho usa, and he is nobody. Once power is given to you, exercise it in the right way. And you run my bona basu. Brakwesi. Politicians, I think, should desist from this kind of gestures. Rather, encourage the people to, as it were, especially with the gradia, make sure, say, your wares are insured. Because some club broche baby to say America and UK. Now you say market baby ashi. Now politicians shall the cement you could donate. The systems must work. Insurance companies is what say insurance they should also be cautioned. Until rather than going to give them $1,000 of cement and money, encourage them to rather insure their wares and their stores. And can you see because insurance will take care of it. Until we encourage our people to do that, we'll go nowhere. This market fire here, and yes, a big to be you. CSA does not require $1,000 of cement from every individual. So government must intervene and redesign the whole system, creating the pathways, everything, to ensure a modernized market and as a modern market. Now, my answer says, cement bus and come on, Monk say, sense, haphazardly. Said ye who down beam. Kosha Cantamanto, I shame more than several times I cannot count. This is that time when you say no. We will take the bull by the horn. Into yensi market, Now you're making sure so within the market there's a fire station or there's a fire station. Be beer edana. We will not be seeing this occurrence of market fires anymore, or it will reduce. Into yanko by that system say this particular market national are buying a card and a super redesign. They make sure say you basically for frokra na baby na you can fire hydrants yes see kiosk moses so no be cry cover. Whose fault is it? First of all, the education is not there for the individual no market hono. In this idea na one crore na dey buy. How many times na fire service omo akọ check those hydrants? No mo say obi at the kiosk so na so obi asidan also. We are in this country, we see electricity poles protruding through people's roofs. And then it is lack of education, and it is lack of a proper monitoring system from the fire service. How would you sit there for decades or even a year? Now fire hydrant will be the kiosk basis, so now you have no idea about it. It doesn't make sense. Now what fire office on a day now until we should encourage ourselves to ensure that the right things are done for this country. So the bear kakra. On the issue of the Attorney General's friend saying, ne presser. I think, sir, for the first time in the history of the Fourth Republic, we are witnessing what I would describe as good governance, rule of law, transparency and accountability. In the sense, Emra and NC Attorney General can say on your press conference, and Emra also and Shannon say on your press conference. It means say, or that liberty to exercise say or press conference and I say on yet. Now we must also understand say this is not the only case that Attorney General anymore. There are many of them, but he has chosen to come out with a presser on this particular issue. Now and somehow brakwesi Minya Penny Hobson Adoye Odin Sembi Ebetuya. I have the video. Amami Yemashime. In the sense if this is the attitude of the Ghanaian, it tells me that this country has a very bleak future. Say Sanka so be defenders ura adubo here. Anka so no pa because time no national security no. Now we hear one or two things be I say we hear mwabi e mane fall on him. Emani to me boa no mo no monetary matters. Emo boa no masa no mana wo hwe no. Ne nsa kan pepepe and say to me implemented those things. But in federal office a submission. Or say baby asem na kodu no. Enya ade obetumi agina baby defend no. Why? Because also justice say person mankumnya ena manipa ekosa ohaw ni mu na nke ye na sa opportunity ne by in fact he used the word opportunity wo see sa opportunity no enna one fan for on one kasa ne yere nko aso and at least anka or falling on other people and yanka ye normal nje sanka in fact in his submission can say and yanka sanko following you know they really lawyers I hold one to say the bay on between I have the video. That's sad. And if we think this way now if you say yes on any yere nko na nka mo de fan crofo bebre so say obi ani bi di bi ma ni bi enti mayi menu ai boss odi am say me refi kakra kwa me friend CID enti mayi CID mayi brakwesi mayi atik enti ye aduane bi say ya bawo enti ye nchendi say e corner say on man we cannot build it because do you remember the mantra of if you want to do business don't join my government, go to the private sector. And so now the Danko Kufuado Obabe Fisono. I have sat here and I perceive almost every state institution and as an agency head to be corrupt. It appears to me said no they were into serious business because see, there's no agency and another Danko Kufuado fi hokoi eka emedaho. Right? And to this particular issue abeto abonten. Now many I take can be say the sequence of the movement of the money say bia wonya no kwampaswa. I take the Attorney General has been clear. Say Owura Dubois our head of is it NSB NSC BNC former NSB NSC BNC
no formerly BNC
former BNC
Bureau of National Communication and now National Signal Bureau
exactly on one kasa a create similar company and a dwadie bi a all this say ye hear a certain your friend say app to aid the organization. So bet me system monitors be bet me a cost of paper. Your catch run say a back cost $7 million. Now omo a man say a back cost $7 million no. And we co create within 1 week we co create similar company no no na director. Into within a week no transfer $7 million na cost na private account ni mu. Out of that money no we try just about 1.75 million dollars. And a demasa Israeli company no say is it IS something and we try more. Process na ka 5 point something no more or less had become his personal and bona fide money. And was started itself from a honso or transfer to various entities more, and also were the creation of himself and other people. To the point that so Ubekaya Attorney General one can't say or much nipa dudu obiao. He limited himself to Redubua Henene Yere. But in the evening,
other person.
Yes, and one other. But in the evening, Tama the deputy Uras Ramsai, Dr. Ramsai, also any opportunity to speak on your sister station TV3 no. Okay, I said, look, on that particular issue, how much Nipa Base 15? And also, yes, Nipa Base 15 because the payment leads to another company, and when they investigate, they go and see another person who is also affiliated to this person, and so on that basis, no, or more to me, actually Nipa Base 15. And if you look at the movement of the funds, nobody can tell me, say, he acquired those monies legally, and I say legitimately.
That's a very
no, the money so transferred the $7 million.
Have you seen it? Have you seen it yourself?
The tables.
No, have you seen it yourself?
Attorney General is telling me and you.
No, I think at this point we should have value judgments.
Exactly. You see, it is not.
No, do you know which other things he does?
For now, it's not in court.
It's not about the fact being in court.
No, you see,
one discussion, arguably the best radio,
most listened to in the morning.
It's a summer can I'm 40. I'm crabby quit here, but what we are saying is you cannot pass judgment on the person. Especially when I ask you, say, one can say,
at this point, yet here, you see, Juma or yeah, whether he's
do you want me,
I mean,
sitting here to see the money before I can comment about it? The Attorney General.
What do you know?
Minimum
guy, no.
Must I know him?
No, not personal. Do you know his history, like what he has done before he got to NSB?
I don't know why must
exactly. So to pass those judgments could be a bit problematic.
I am only speaking.
But what you're doing is passing judgment on him.
And hello, Muma Yang can
I have not passed judgment on him from Attorney General's own mark. And also evidence adduced. I want the Abegua Bontin say, Obi Abetumi can be. Me sure Sikani traces no say na koye. First of all, is Sikani transfer $7 million no? A taxpayers' money. Me boa.
Enti the me can say. Me ma say na o can say. Also can say. Said the Attorney General the abetu
see trace of 7 million payments. One can't where it came from and who it was meant for.
You don't expect me to come and say what you would have said.
No, what you would have said. You see, I'm guiding you.
No, don't. You can't guide me. That is why when you were speaking, I was quite, yes.
Oh, okay.
You can't guide me because I'm guided by the authority or the submission of the Attorney General. Say. Ono kranka na party bi no hobeko election because
but you're not quoting the Attorney General. You are paraphrasing. No. We all listened. He spoke English. We all listened to him.
Yes.
You are not quoting the Attorney General. You are only paraphrasing because he spoke English. Who catchy? And now the be tata ho. So you're not quoting him.
I didn't know tata ho.
$7 million taxpayers. Attorney General did not say taxpayers.
No, me Tio.
You see, as a no Tio.
No, me Tio. No.
Say I because when you were speaking, I was quiet. The American say, okay, if it is not taxpayers' money, whose money is it?
He hasn't said.
No, I am asking, say.
You don't know at this point.
Why would you say you don't know?
No. The Attorney General himself said it categorically that he took taxpayers' money, 39.46.
Yeah,
that is in the press conference.
He took taxpayers' money.
That is what the Attorney General said.
Whose money is it?
Yeah.
Whose money is it? Must he use his own personal money to go and buy the gadget or the app that belongs to the state? And a state institution or head, is it a private institution? It is not.
Yeah, taxpayers' money, but said they
are. But so why are you?
They are transfer good account to Muno. Taxpayers' money now.
That is what the Attorney General can.
If it is taxpayers' money that was transferred, that is the $7 million, and part of it has been used to pay the Israeli company. It's not taxpayers' money. The rest, if it is transferred into a different account, it's not taxpayers' money. So why would you say I'm passing judgment on him? And I'm saying, based on what the Attorney General has fed us with, for some of us, it is not in our. It does not lie in our mouth to say, your friend is saying it's conclusive. But even I can even sit here and perceive it. The air question, and like the Attorney General said, there's no way, sir, case we obey lose. So the court, and you make us say, okay, and you make us say, and make us say, even a certain liquefied gas,
LPG.
I wouldn't know about you know. I'm coalition almost on Bewin. My body, on our body. So me, but those people crap on coalition almost on Bewin. And the Attorney General is simply telling us with the evidence I have in my hands, there's no way. And you see, many atik eka ura attaching ourselves.
The Attorney General, the judge. No.
There be and court. Attorney General is not judging him. He's not pronouncing judgment on him.
I said there's no way say Ube Lucia and Winia. Then you've passed judgment already.
It's not. So you're a lawyer.
Yes, I am.
No, so he has not
prejudiced. I'm kind of say guide. Who ask my main guide?
But you see, fact of the matter is that we have seen embezzlement, misapplication of funds that belongs to the taxpayer.
You suspect.
Yeah, I think the word is
fine.
You suspect. You've not seen.
You see, me using the word I suspect. No, I'm not the Attorney General. I have seen, based on what the projections. Maybe you are not. You see, you are not getting me as a layman. I have seen. See, you are trying to gag me, but let me go ahead.
He shall not be gagged.
You see, what I'm trying to say is, Attorney General, table no the. Fact of the matter is that the Attorney General a project I have seen. I have no cause to say I have suspected a gentleman. I Attorney General or one is suspect, but I have seen the projections, the figures. The Attorney General able to be. And I make say, now many article cancer will attach or casa. Charlie, I saw casa because these issues are juicy. If one person can amass such wealth, now somebody am your lawyer. And can megu a confide no motion friend saying sir your friend bro and there be the bomb most of this there be you are the bomb was saying to say you be sana almost so much and can measure side no boy shire me a lawyer now come the nam street come and can make come Attorney General super and make sure sir met down Attorney General it is a see no adawa and for business are sorry. Nti don't fault over attach about what he's saying. Mama mun come. No mbe kuma some jo mbe tiareka. Wo come nyina ya ye di na temu. Me ni ati kan say instead me ho anka ansa se oka. But eso oka. Nti mo onka. But the rule of law will take its place. But matraka se fidia who also including your sister station Neat FM and UTV say if the judiciary is not reset, these issues will go nowhere.
Okay.
I am telling you.
Okay.
And there's the need for an immediate. Oh, you see, there's and I have been categorical. I say, Mami Tokonu should be removed.
Okay. Mesamba sisia. Why, monsieur?
Peace FM.
Kuyap manga man humeriso, kuyap manga man humeriso. Eyo fear market. You kon fear marketer. You medi eye gwak kesia. Yerebo kuyap mengu. Eye memene da 29th of March 2025. No na kuyafu wo kuyap mengu nyinara. Onge wados mangwa se kwa moso yetu mubodi nyinara. Wodi nyani fear funum. Eye fresh amono chia wadin chieso. Se ye banjio, brodio, mankenio, kontomero, entorwao. Mubri biara odi edwenge ye wadeba. Ubedi o fear marketer. Ena ubenya wonam munam a wodi ye wonkwang na mankwang mu yinhwam no ubenya biato ho. Eno nti brofie market na wonkwang mu yinhwam. Na ni jesema wo mu ne se ya tete wo nema ni nyina so. Eye fufu. Yes, very cheap. Nti mu amu madine, wo adente, wo yerefe, wo islegono, wo westlegono, wo hacho, wo agbogba, wo nkrangmenma. Bomadin so be brofie market. Mimi ne dai anopa no nsia na gwadefu gina mu se de nenenenenenga yeri di gwade akofie. Ndi so wo pe be akodigwa. Mimi ne dai rebe ye bodawri na oti dawri ya ntina ofi nko be biara tutumrika a monochrome community center park ehon na jumedi be koso etianopa no nsia kosia no mere jumedi ofarbai eno ne honorable Sami Ewuku member of parliament Ekuapem constituency ofie market okuyap man ama ne homene so ya bia ya mamumu apiao
Peace FM 104.3 Good to meet Take.
Now, our investigation, which was conducted by EOCO, as I've indicated, has established that the ultimate beneficial, in essence, the difference between 49 million Ghana cedis being the money Mr. Dubois transferred from the bank account of the National BNC to his private BNC, and 9.5 million being the money he actually paid to the ISC Holdings for the software, ended up with him and his wife. That is to say that the sum of 39,462,480 Ghana cedis of taxpayers' money went into their private pocket. The investigation has revealed that the ultimate beneficial owner of BNC Communications Limited is another company known as Advantage Solutions Limited. 10 other companies are through a very complex web of shareholding and directorship connected to Mr. Dubois and his wife, Angela. Investigations have also established that monies, mostly proceeds of crime, from the Advantage Solutions Limited and BNC Communications Bureau Limited and other similar sources have been transmitted under very suspicious circumstances through the bank accounts of these companies. The investigations have revealed so far that the suspect and his wife have registered companies which we are currently tracking. We are tracking all the companies. There are about 10, of them that they created with Advantage Solutions mostly owning all the companies. For purposes of the investigation that is ongoing, we are not going to disclose those companies, but I want to warn any executive, director, or employee of each of the companies who, knowing that Mr. Dubois has been arrested, if they make movement of assets, we will track and arrest them and prosecute them. So they are all warned. All banks are also warned that if we see any wire transfers or cash withdrawals on any of the accounts belonging to Mr. Dubois and his companies, the bank managers and all their employees who are involved in those transfers will equally be arrested. After this press conference, no activity, and we are monitoring all their bank accounts from the Financial Intelligence Center. With the press of a button, we can see the movement of money, on any of the accounts. So we are monitoring that very, very closely. We know, for instance, that the 3 banks that they have been dealing with, with in substantial financial transactions are UMB, Fidelity Bank, and Stanbic Bank. So we are monitoring them keenly. And the managers of this bank, if they are listening to me, should be careful about what they do on any account connected to Mr. Dubois and his wife and their companies. The investigations also established that the proceeds from the suspect's activities were used to buy significant landed properties and other assets of considerable value both in Ghana and elsewhere.
Peace FM. Dr. Dominic Ayene Minister, that's Attorney General and Minister for Justice. Now TCS, born in Diamawi, where a press conference or na wakasa afa ho den semwa if you more so far wa ma ye yoko fa ora edubu ahene studio no hanom say an pay Kokrokoo dwumedie so Atik Mohammed ya sanitano na Clement Opoku Jemfi Kwame Poku CID e wa hanom say boa na ye ba ni aba be call Adamates so but say quickly na Kwame person your intervention be just 1 minute Kwame because see call Adamates near sorry so
yeah that was see asem no ye titia and some aye kan nyina no me already me settle you know say premise ne say yenyi politics in free and your manum see immediately I obey say what they aban bi bam what they party bi bam no afa obo hu say e be trigger na mebe ma obi so be say obi defending the party no na aba be say bia say ya o kan sem kama na adu din na obebo wura mu say na adu na say na aba you don't bring it in nipa na ono ye adwuma e dia kan asem ya du bo ahin o ye adwuma e wo ho no mo since 2007 he rose to the rank of deputy director in the year 2016 na adu ma power and sana NPP buy no onu buy the substantive director general and asset director.
Yeah.
He's Yabaka so a technocrat or rising through the ranks. Technocrats no more adwuma no. Yeah, politicians ye kwa ekotu mo. Ye free home da so ho. Mo be ko ye be san ba. O me wo ho. They are there and they are taking advantage of the system. Aban bi aba wo sa aban no. Aban bi aba wo sa aban no. Na ye di gu aban no animu ase. We don't do that. Nipa no je wa ye ne nya yen sechere yan kan chen say masa dia wa ye ne nye emra ne wonya na enye obi ayi ni say free nobody should rope in any political party
medasi
because me hu so about pai MPP meeting bi asa na function bi asa MPP kwada no koma o wevi let's set the record straight
yen fairness here yen hwe Adamates to remove or not to remove President Mahama petition akwa kan nsa ono so refer petition o the Ama Council of State. And ECG containers, I say, since your demo charge now about 1.5 billion Ghana cedis. Containers, you say almost 1,300. You baby, no afa. And yama a womb. Me testing your cacao. I think my mission is so we don't intend to spend too much time because you're bread on tea. But maybe 5 minutes.
Very that should be enough. As for ECG containers, I will start with the Namide CJD anyway.
Okay.
Me dream for the life of me, dream I'm in tears here. Like Eban, how?
It's only Ghana.
I'm telling you that a state agency will procure equipment meant for Omejuma. Already, you know, we complain about the work of ECG. Say there are inefficiencies and so on. So if they are importing equipment to aid Omejuma now, I didn't have a Tinaport, clearing too becomes a problem. GRA and ECG are both state agencies. Can't there be some simple understanding between the two? But it raises the bigger question, Po. ECG has no competence to do procurement. Usually they sublet that responsibility to vendors. And the question I'm asking is, vendors nedi containers ne buy ena ombejan wo honum na na say ECG ankasa. Now, what was the arrangement between ECG and the vendors, if indeed vendors na buy? Say, would you say, Kotoni Wanafa basic port and now to and come and deliver to us? Well, it would be the weirdest form of procurement agreement between a vendor and an entity, and then between an entity and the vendor. Say, would you corner Kotoni Wanafa basic port? Yeah, say, knowing very well, say, ECG will not get tax exemption. Enti anka sa equipment dey tax exempt dey obetimi aka say omudi ba na yakosa say enuma. But this is a situation where under the tax exemptions act I'm sure these things are not covered. Why wouldn't you get obia obeto nyuma no wabe deliver? Rather than it doesn't make I didn't know what you want and this is not the first time ECG is doing procurement. Oh my look, all kinds of things were going on. Yet meters and some prepaid meters. Every 3 months, now there's another squad almost here, but somewhere, and they were busy doing the business of procurement when they should be focusing attention on dealing with the inefficiencies of ECG. Also, places where they generate revenue. There's always that temptation to spend a lot of the money doing procurement because it's easy money. Well, entity and agency beer where there is revenue generation, there is always a temptation to do procurement because it is free. I wouldn't say free, but it's easy money. Oh, now where there it is the worst of it. Say the Nyomaba. Just like Kolebu, for example, almost go cran Nyomaba, ebe report, ye clear Nyomana and clear. Medium woman. Ghana is a very weird country. As is here, I didn't have a and Asha we're told say na 3,000 containers. And at this one, even if it is 1,000 containers, that's a big deal. Imagine say the more you achieve you may never turn auction. Do you know how much money ECG will be losing? And the minister even hinted said there was such a scenario. You didn't know money buy ye money si ho Emma the more chinyomano and ye turn don't come me. And then you don't go in this ECG. So it comes back to the question: who actually procured and imported the containers?
Yeah.
I think my memoir. So we international commercial law say you say delivery has taken place. Either say at the point the panel be the auto free one or the sea ship no so it is deemed say delivery has taken place. And I say be drew the port of destination delivery taking place in it is up to you the purchaser to ensure so be of our idea. I don't think I
it depends on outside. It depends on who the vendor is. If it's ECG that did the direct procurement until they give it to you as FOB like free on board like Onu Nejuma ends when it is on board. What has here? If it's FOB it ends Nejuma ends when it is on board. There are all kinds of arrangements. CIF, you are the pay insurance and what have you. But what I'm saying is, who did the procurement? When they told Newman who am on
ECG for is it ECG?
A vendor.
Okay, that is
because if it's a vendor, it will be.
I'm say suppliers, but
so be,
for now,
it's inconceivable.
It's on the vendor to ensure say obeying your.
Exactly, it's inconceivable. Say a supplier because media makoto Newman no, omudia sipuso. Deal with it's inconceivable.
But let's get the content of the contract.
And it will be the most ridiculous contract ever. And it will be the most ridiculous kind of contract to have. What I say ukotonuma. Usually enemies supply the or the brew. However the person clears the goods in the cost in the bidding process the price build up not the cost of clearing this animal at the account now or the bid price aba if it meets with your reserve price now if it is not you get a better
I think now Adiaba concern said share the number of containers now ECG for claim so okay well omunim say no near dia e bia supplier na vendor no famra no almost 2,491 a day na sa investigative committee no mko ye adwuma no e ko ya I mean, almost
I didn't hear about
1,134.
Not just said, you see, that's even another issue we need to be raising.
Missing ECG containers.
Yeah. And the difference no call he.
Why now confess container?
And anybody define he. And young fan cross say let's assume say meters. No entity in this guy, we only have one distributor. And you won't even talk about any other power distributor because we don't have it unless you smuggle it out of this country. And if I says our meters nipa no kofa. Where is it going to end up? And he said, come back to ECG. How did they look? This country really. To be frank with you, I am just a step shy of agreeing with President Mahama. Said this country is more like a crime scene. Like when you have such schemes in that because we are mine. Until you see, you didn't know about Krana. Not one went to your duties no to clear them. They mostly are kept in bonded warehouses. Customs 40 other agencies at your and Jabanza missing then
national security operatives for now
and Jabanza echo missifa he
you near market or the upper crania market
the way on the how
oh dear crania
the way on bre hey the harass on be harasso anyway containers is esusun eban saying as the number is significant missing containers the number is significant. Look, I would expect the ministry to engage the security agencies. In fact, NSB will be very useful in this enterprise. National Signals Bureau. No, let's find out who allowed the containers to leave the bonded warehouses, who came to pick them, where they ended up, and what was the basis for doing so.
Okay.
Otherwise, this is becoming
petition. No?
This is too much.
CJ
also CJ petition.
Chief Justice you Ezia Kokrokoo na ekaze odi sugar dodo onya ID. Doctor no betunu for say we nya ID a obewu ozi di eze nyehwe. Ena ozi ansa no obewu nukra ebema obi PA ebema obi sichire yare na ebetimi ama sebi obema kurewu. Ena akwa ntim say ena yare no hu Just only a walk around fan. What has here? And the sebi. Now the law says after the receipt of the petition, the president needs to engage and consult with the Council of State. You see, that's the process. What shall I say? Let's just say the process has been activated. There's no turning back.
Committee.
We know with 2 Supreme Court judges, one being the chairman. But the question I'm asking is, what would be? I always do scenario analysis. In the worst case scenario, in a free what effect will that have on the delivery of justice and on the judiciary? That's one question. Secondly, what does it mean for our governance? We have 3 arms of government, not for fun, but for a particular reason. So we keep one another in check. You see, now it has become, if this goes through, what it then means is, even though Mrama, the executive, the power to do so, it means that now President Biaba,
Article 146 is going to be abused.
That's my fear. I'm not also saying that if there's a case for her to answer, she should not be made to answer. It's a dilemma. How we are able to wiggle our way out of it remains to be seen.
All right.
But I hope, at the end of the day, it will not fansus and suboni brain and justice delivery. Ma judiciary BBB, and it will not create a precedent that will encourage and embolden future presidents to want to abuse our article now.
Okay. Yeah. Other matters, these 2 issues quickly.
You see, port and 70 ECG continents are ira. Me enyamwa na mete anopay so pani bi a friend no say we adwuma ho o say there's no truth in it bibi sakrapo NC na it is impossible abakwesi so what was what to form
anti committee no report no
obi o ye adwuma ho no cancer no
the committee report near say be bogus okay
o sister station need to FM interviews and panel. And Brock was said, what do I want to form? There's something called running. What am I habo? Brock was won't ha ente da. Say containers ya twin film. Won't be that. Containers are ECG or more materials, cables, and normal hold a womb. I said, you mentioned say about 2,491 or so. Na omuye hushimuno. Just say a 1,134. Teacher say 1,357 dear Harabasa. Bakwesi. This country, and so ye Sano Mano. And so ye excavator crowd to Mejira, Wombrokra. Ye him say a copaki gua. Run and no ye system beer. Ye passive and as ye to support one a idea ye jumapa. Containers ye tree free manaju. And who papers as ye nan kesi for the right procedure muna nipa ne diano utria the necessary duty no. They don't go through those things. They use what they describe as running. No more they are train free. And then at the end of the day, or more yes arrangement no, they go and take their commissions or whatever it is. This is no news at all. But the other one say ECG of all ECG to say the menu at kai. Any GRA couldn't have any synergy to as it were ensure say anka once a year a buying and no money dear. There must be a system by which I didn't cry end 1 week or honey clear. As to who brought the goods, our more suppliers, the tendering process, no, our more cool, nipa or more when a bid, no. What was the agreement? Was it the fact to say normally be draw a ECG ne be clear and now say nipa na ode ba no be clear nyina omo the cost ne kan nipa supply ne ho and say ECG ne ba be clear. And from this what we are seeing, no, it appears to me say the agreement was based on the fact say normally be draw ECG and kasa ne be clear. And na normally see what sa akodum pempenso a ewe. Now take it made a reference which has come to the public domain. Say container be a bedroom ya demurrage action will belong to ECG. Omo fa kwati kwan bi so. Emma omo auction ma obi. Emma nipa ni sambe ton ma ECG at a very exorbitant price. Enti bibia ne ho a enso Ghana ni ye wo mem ha so se obedi udwiri mu a fa koso brafom. Enche bia na is it Ghana Medical Council omo nkrofo status omo tiem say USA did no be a brayer name Kroneba, and also more than 200 containers or so. A depot was several years yenye. Omotia musa your sister station including Peace FM. Omukasa ho sama containers no. At the end of the day no GRA at the time now mame Obano after Amisha that woman no be seen and or no. And ya arrangement and na omuko class anomano. Brakwasi. The young say the media never followed up as to where those containers are enrollment acquire. Because information has it say Nkrofo had their interest in those drugs, no. Until after they had engaged the media for the media to make noise for them, moko clear, you know, because the media did not do a follow up to go and see where exactly the containers were going. It is alleged say Nkrofo private hospitals now some of the containers ekoye omodi omuduma. Enti Ghana there ye hu ye no ankense se yenya asori kropo Ghana ha ankense se yenya mosque because boni ye di no anka by this time say ye be no ma even 50% per anka by na ye develop Ghana
but here we are
as a people but remember Chief Justice Anasem I have a serious interest in it and I have that thinking of Ubeko Unko Abansa account. She has to go, and if the Chief Justice is not fired, I will be shocked. Brakwesi Nanado Danko Kufuado na by Bason. I sit here and I say I will continue to repeat myself that they neither came with a party plan, a national plan, but they came with a family plan. And if you go to the Ajapadia document, page 31,
but you still rely on
I may cast some money. I say, if it you take it that it's not authentic, no problem. Who comes? Who stamps on the its authenticity or not?
Yeah, but your brain time.
So more no more hijacking me. Because in making Kabi said the judiciary and governance in Ghana. Or say considering the competitive nature of our works as politicians, there's always the need to be a step ahead against our opponents to secure our interest, dominance and maintain power in 2020 and the next 20 years. Our focus as a party has always been to position our members and sympathizers at strategic positions, both in government and in the judiciary, to cover and protect our interests. Now we see from Obey and package the judiciary to favor NPP and their cause of alleged looting and misbehavior in governance. To the point that every state institution has been affected as a result of how they didn't know how to govern or how deliberately they tried to skew the country's resources into their own pockets. And also, look at what they did to Jachi Kwesen. To the point that an attorney general was able to secure, say, Yama Jachi Kwesen court every day. Mami to konuti ho, ye the LGBTQ bill abetu wenim. Mami na mpemwa other cases na offer oja LGBTQ ayine to ho sa akopim se omo free abema sa na obebua. The such a person.
Okay.
I have said it and I'll continue to say until the judiciary is reset, no cases that are being sent there will have the fair justice that Ghanaians need.
Me da see, yeah. Kwame. Yeah, brain into it.
Mami free baby away.
Yeah, by 4 minutes by 11 pepe here pompa.
Na say me can say me guide no say mami guide no. But nsem no can be a how the PCFM so beto asemu. They all can nsem no there. Amanfo atie. Enti ade okoko tie me catch and say document we don't even know the author. Obian dey authenticate we say akra the mekan. Na wakan. Who is the author? No, who is the author?
The author's name is in it. So
why when you catch it?
The author's name is in it.
Yeah.
Oh, that be you see, that was see. What can some fa me party ni ma ban twam ho. Na me wa ban no.
Me tell no be back.
Enti ebasa e was say me so me timi etwe etiefo so adwini so say the all can no kura bia nim.
Okay, the so count dia no kura wo mu e. Na ye nko.
Na otakura wan tina boy bi. Removal of CJ omampanyini e de krata ba ama ye hu say or the petition na nsa kan no e de akoma Council of States our chain or more advice. Ohemra na Article 146 especially baby I can once empire 146.6 no ono mona e ka say petition bi ba na pese chief justice it's early days enti ahun sem de untumi nche da enka bebre because now you try say you betimi establish a prima facie case na you be form the committee no na committee no report of the baba now report of the committee no ana ebe determine whether say chief justice no be in a few ho ana say obetna e bia na committee no beba kra mo say chief justice onye hwe no huso on time bia committee no so e beba no say chief justice no onko but it doesn't lie in the mouth of ya asani tano so obetna aka say we need to reset the judiciary. You see where judiciary yes democracy I enjoy in this fourth republic since 1992 the judiciary has played a significant role. You can never write the democracy we've enjoyed now where you mudi efrim omu role omu play no obian wo betimi undermine it. But for you to say yeah, you see
I agree with you, but until now buy the judiciary not rotten.
You see I will not sit here as an officer of the courts for you to undermine the judiciary. And the judiciary is this current judiciary is the best we can have now. Your bonfire say can I say improvement first crown no kwa some crown it be that one here so we see chief justice at now one phrase you don't even know how the system works now kwa electronic systems there juma cases court e kwani ade kra no wo kwa unim judge e konanim ntu wo hana abane ya twere wo so say e bi e court 1 court 2 court 3 you don't even know enka first ne de wa na wo de ko na wa ko na court we wo de ko ha eno kwa na amanfo perceive this corruption here that no but chief justice aba over the period I try say omude innovative ideas mami current chief justice nema odi aba in the system to the extent that ene so we judge krana ye transfer also we do wasem wie yes we be wasem wie and there's injunction krana ukoji ama ne de aba who judge no you will have to sign it and so first no
me time now
so these are some of the aka 2 minutes wa but container na asem no they na make an aba besiso no so we shouldn't politicize crime and can nay sanka ba ya me MPP no obi say MPP ni tinka ba am NDC4 krono nko a enye na container ayira wo port yi o mba o wia container ni ataba yatimi atu ajan confirm do mu tu a fine is justifiable but containers ni ataba na yatimi atu a sanka be chara maka say NDC4 ba no mu o wia containers and o ma say because excavators ira no ya ka say MPP4 na every excavators no
NDC4 ba no be hu say containers ayira it's through your administration through
administration
anya so buba ya na containers ni ira
ya o twa no na o kasa mo twa
obi abokro no say e wo porto yem find a quiet fast of containers in Nigeria.
Okay.
Because my suspicion is a big na containers no amedru sa amount I come to now Irano.
Your time as sorry. Your time as
and nipa da sani
your time as
hey nipa hu onyu
government government the easy I didn't government uncle one fancy cano
your time as Maminda mpanyinfo ya say ye bre no aso Oti Atik Mohammed Inka, oil political analyst and former PNC General Secretary, Ya Sanitano political analyst, former national organizer LPG, Clement Opoku Jemfi, Kwame Poku CID, former MC Amansia South. Time to go. Kwejo Asante, Isaac Opoku, Bafo, Peter Square, Omobuami Ashishe Jumedie, Oti and Kanope, Kokrokoo Jumedie, so Kwesi Abuaje. Medasi baby bia wo bia Uti Jumedie bi and Neukwe. Nyamintine ni show Mount 9 Pimboda Sa Kofi Kumbelson or the working time you did it right Kwesi Abuaji one time in can make call
Look, the only thing where they come close to how awesome Showmax Entertainment Day, it be how easy it is to get to. It gets Shao payment options, MTN Momo, Visa, then MasterCard. Just visit showmax.com to sign up, pay, and start streaming. It be easy, cra. You free stream all local and international series, movies, kids shows, and the Premier League anytime. No hello, only chow hours of watching. Showmax make everything easy. Visit showmax.com to sign up today. Showmax, streaming for Ghana.
Capital O2 for G Swedish bitters no. A boost to my immune systems hana. Na Matthias say hodi e desini sikampa.
Eni de bia meka. G Swedish bitters. Ha ma tia podu no nsia en wakabo mu dia ye. E bokoma ho ban. E memoja no tumi pompe fam yie. Wota no mu a e boase stroke wo ho a ebe wo so ani moja bro so ano e bre na se. G Swedish bitters eni hoyi.